Hi everybody, first of all, Happy New Year's, and welcome to Zhang-Han Talking Watches. My name is David.
My name is Leo.
Today, we brought out two of our most favorite pieces to share with everybody. I think these are two of the hottest watches on the market, and it's two of the watches that we wear on a daily basis we both really enjoy. I'm going to get Leo to kick it off.
Okay, so today we brought two Rolex GMT Master 2. One is the Batgirl and then the other one is the Pepsi. So today we're gonna do some comparison between the two, not for the specs, but then it's just for our personal opinion of the two watches. So first, I'm gonna share about a little bit story about how I got this Batgirl.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got this watch actually 2 months ago, and then the watch I have to buy, unfortunately, some digest in order for me to get this one.
You got a pair of few watches now, right?
Yes. But luckily, whenever I got the watches, the digest is actually available for me to purchase.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I don't have to wait too long in order for me to get those pieces. So overall, I spent like 3 months altogether in order for me to get this Batgirl.
Okay.
And ever since that, I wear this watch almost every single day.
Oh.
Yep. So
I kind of remember, but I kind of remember when you purchased it, you were pretty excited.
I am, yes.
It definitely took a little bit of time to work with your AD to make sure that, you know what, they got your watch on their top of mind. It's something that they want to try and acquire for you.
So David, how about your Pepsi? Because the Pepsi right now is the most desirable GMT Master 2, right?
It is. It's very hot, and I think it looks just as nice as the Batgirl. And actually, it's something that we both, I'm happy to have a Batgirl, and he's happy to have a Pepsi as well. So we'd be able to wear both the watches. Now, it did take me a little bit of time to acquire this particular piece. In this version, it's actually called the Mark III dial. I originally had the Mark I dial back in 2018 and 2019 when the watch first released. That time, it wasn't as hot as it is right now.
At the very beginning when
At the very beginning,
right?
yeah. I remember closely, the watch announced it around March time 2018, and I had a friend who worked at my local AD, and he called me and says, David, you gotta come and grab this watch. To be completely honest with you, Leo, I wasn't a big fan at the time. I couldn't get past the fact that they changed a sport watch into a Jubilee dial.
Yeah, it was different, right? Whenever it first came out.
It was definitely different. It was, I didn't think there was going to be such a big demand for it. But luckily, my friend said, look, David, you're going to buy this watch, and it's going to be a year, maybe 2, before you get this piece. By that time, you can make a decision, right? I can guarantee you, once that watch arrives, you're going to love it. And it's best for you to put a deposit on it now. When that watch comes, you can make a decision. This way, you don't get to miss out. I said, hey, you know what? What I got to lose? So I remember watch got announced in the morning. Their store opened at 10 o'clock. At 10:30, I was there. Unfortunately, even at that time, I remember I was probably the 8th person in line already.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I asked him, I said, hey man, I got the deposit. I never waited for a watch before. I said, so what do I do now? And he looked at me and he just said, David, now you wait. And I waited. I waited, and finally about a year, just a little over a year, I got a call.
Yeah, because at that time it was different because Rolex is still in Basel where they announced it, the new production in March, but we only get the watches until late September, right? So within a year of waiting, I would say it is worth it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. At the time, it was about a year wait. Now, honestly, I have friends that go in and they go to different states, different countries, and ask their local stores to wait on to get a Pepsi or even get a Batgirl or any of the hot sport models. And some stores are very honest with you and say, look, you gotta buy this and this and this, and I'll be able to put you on the list. Yeah. Some stores will just straight up and tell you, look, I have too many people on the list. I'm not interested in adding any more people. And someone will just politely tell you, look,
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years, and it's just a polite way to tell you, don't bother us anymore. We're not going to give you this watch, right?
That's true. Yes. So these days, after the Pepsi release, I think Rolex cut off their supplies, and then all the sports stainless steel model, it's even impossible to get. So we're lucky to have two of the most desirable current GMT we have today. So David, tell us, how do you like the Jubilee bracelet with the Pepsi?
Honestly, it took a little bit of time, but after a little bit, I really started to enjoy it. I think in terms of day-to-day wear, for me, I like to dress it up, dress it down, and it's a really nice combination between sports and dress watch.
I think you're right, because at the very beginning, I thought it's too feminine for the Jubilee bracelet on a sports watch. But then after I got it, as I said, I've been wearing the watch for almost every single day because it's just so comfy, and then it feels super light on your wrist. So again, we're gonna kick into the comparison section because of course each individual has their own preference. I'll start first with my Batgirl. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I choose Batgirl, well, first is because I couldn't get a Pepsi.
Thanks for your honesty.
Well, but I'm honest. To be honest, I really do enjoy the blue and the black on the bezel. It reminds me the daytime and the nighttime for the GMT function, and then it matches well on the suits. Doesn't matter if it's a dark gray or if it's a navy or if it's a black suit, it all matches well with this.
With the Batgirl, it's something that I really am envious of. Is the blue R on the Batgirl. I like the fact that it pops. It's very crisp. It's very clear. And with the Pepsi wise, I think the generation after this third generation or second generation, about this time, they really dimmed down the blue. I remember my first Pepsi was this bright blue, but people had a complaint that it blended more purple, if I remember correctly. But with the new one, you can see it's more of a navy blue. But I do envy the fact that they didn't go on the blue on the back, on the Batgirl. But I personally like to call it the Superman.
Oh, the Superman. Okay.
Now we actually brought in something interesting today.
Yeah. So we have a special guest.
Yeah. My original GMT Master 2. And this is one that really started off my love for Rolex, and I really want to share this with everybody as well, and just to kind of have a compare the original Oyster bracelet versus the Jubilee. And one thing I noticed that just recently, and for some reason I didn't pick this up for the longest time, the GMT Master 2 on the original dial was green to match the GMT needle.
Yeah, we didn't realize that until we put all three watches all together, and then all of a sudden David just said, "Hey, look at the leather."
Yeah.
Right? It's a green, and I think it's a nice touch on the watches that give more character for, especially when it has a green second hand, and then I think the leather just matches well with those green. So speak about the bracelet. That's the one I'm not really a big fan of it.
Really,
Since we got the Jubilee already, I think it's a better option for GMT with Jubilee rather than the Oyster. But you gotta say, Rolex actually did a phenomenal job on the bracelet. The high polish is centered, even though it's easy to be scratched, but then it really does look really shiny.
Yeah.
Right?
I think for myself, if I just wear one on a more casual basis, I would prefer the Oyster bracelet over the Jubilee. But because I have an option to wear it with a suit or on a day-to-day basis, I do dress up a little bit. The Jubilee bracelet, it's a nice in between.
So with the color of the bezel, I think at the end of the day, it's just based on personal preference.
Correct.
I don't know why the Pepsi is a little bit more expensive on the gray market than the Batgirl. Maybe I think it's due to the versatile of the Pepsi that both women and men can wear that watches. But to me, I still really think Batman is the only GMT watches for me. First, I think it's gonna be a little bit unfair for us to compare with all three because one is discontinued,
Yeah.
and then the other two are on the, Jubilee bracelet, right? So David, what is your choices for all of the three?
I think you right on the point. The black and the blue really shines off. The fact that you got day and a night, but I do believe the Pepsi does have a little bit of an older history. The original GMT was as well had a bezel with on the blue and the red. That was the Pepsi came from. I personally, you know what, I really liked my original GMT Master 2.
I see.
It was a really hard choice to switch back and forth. I like the classic black.
It's more versatile, right?
It is more versatile, and some people will see it, it's a little bit more low key, versus when you have the blue and the red, some people, it's a little bit more in your face, right? So if I wanted to dress it down, if I wanted to be a little bit more low key, I had to just pop on my GMT Master 2. But I'll be honest with you guys, I love the Pepsi, or the Superman, however I want to call it, but on a day-to-day basis, if I had to pick one, I might have to go with the GMT Master 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a surprise. So in conclusion, everyone, if you got the money, just buy 3 of them.
That's very true. If not, if you had to pick one, leave us your comment. Let us know which one would you pick. We'd love to hear it. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.